GRM Radio.
I'm joined by an Ian Fisch, the founder and lead developer in Darkseas Games, the guys behind Road Redemption. Hello Ian, and thanks for joining us today.
Hi, how are you doing?
Perfectly fine, thanks. So, the game, Road Redemption, is basically a spiritual successor of sorts of the original Road Rash series. Why have you chosen the game in particular to build upon?
Well, because Road Rash was an awesome concept, and we thought that EA was really doing a bad job of releasing new games in the series. They haven't released a new game since 2000, or maybe it was 1999. And here we are in 2014, and technology is so much better than it was when the original Road Rash series was popular, that there's just so much room for improvement on that concept, and they weren't going to do it, so we are.
Alright, on your Kickstarter page you wrote that the early works on the game began in 2009, but it wasn't until 2014 that we actually got our hands on the first alpha of the game, so the obvious question would be here, what did happen in those 5 years?
Well, a lot of game companies will put a game on early access, and the game is full of bugs, the performance sucks, and it's just not fun or well balanced. It's missing sound effects, graphical glitches, and we said, no, we're not doing that. When we release something to the public to play, it's going to be good.
Alright, how long do you think till the product is out of actual beta? Because it's in alpha stage now, so the obvious way of thinking is that next it moves to beta. When will it be out of the early access stage, you think?
Well, right now, the alpha version is available. It's a very simple but really fun and polished version of the game, but it's still very simple. Next, in September, we are releasing the official early access version. That's going to have 100 more missions. It's going to have a store, an in-game economy, guns, bombs, cars that you can fight against. It's a much bigger game and much closer to the actual final game. And it's going to be a complete experience, not a tech demo. Then in maybe January or February, we're releasing the final game with the major addition is going to be more story elements, and of course, online multiplayer. That's going to be the big thing that separates the early access version from the final release version.
In multiplayer, are we talking more of a co-op experience or more of a competition kind of approach?
Both. Right now, we are making sure that the entire single-player game, from start to finish, every single mission, is playable in split-screen co-op. And that's going to be the way it is for early access. Once we release the final game, it will all be playable in multiplayer co-op. So the game is a roguelike, and I can best describe the multiplayer experience as like Left 4 Dead. Okay. So your people will die, and you can revive them. And then we also have PvP, player versus player challenge mode, where you do a single race, a single beatdown mission, a single challenges where it's one player against another.
Okay, you've mentioned about taking your gang on an epic journey across the United States in the finished product. How will these gangs be incorporated into the title?
Right now, what you do is the game starts off and you and your friends are this gang, and you move from one end of the United States to another, chasing down an assassin. The goal of the game is to reach the capital city before the assassin does and prevent an assassination. So along the way, not only do you have your gang made out of your friends in real life, but there are other gangs roaming the streets and they will give you quests. For instance, they'll say, help us kill members of this other gang, and then if you help them, you'll get rewarded with money, which you can upgrade your gang and yourself.
So basically you start with a starting point and you have like a B point, which is the goal of the whole game to reach, but it's up to you if during the way you take up additional challenge which bring you additional bonuses.
Right. So there will be races that you encounter on your journey from point A to point B. If you lose the race, you don't die, you don't restart, you just don't get the reward. And when you get to that final point, you will be weaker because you lost the race.
Okay, so you mentioned the game is similar in its mechanics, the roguelike mechanics, to Rogue Legacy or The Binding of Isaac. So basically what I can expect is that when I play the first time, the second time, the first 10 times and so on, I will not be able to finish the game. But thus, from the additional bonuses I gather from by dying, basically, I will manage to one day be strong enough to reach the B point, which is our goal, right?
Well, that's up to you. If you are really good at the game, you can beat it on your first try if you're awesome. But you probably are not.
I did die just twice in the tech demo, which is that.
Well, okay, there you go. So you're on a good start.
I was very proud of me, actually. There was cars flying everywhere. Probably got lucky. Right, the price for the game is now set at basically $25. Some could argue, though, that it's kind of a steep price for an indie game. What's your take on the subject?
If they don't want it, they don't have to buy it.
Fair enough.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it.
You get so much more enjoyment.
It's the biggest smile I had on in my face this year. That's definitely a fact right there. You also wrote that a few months after Road Redemption launches, we'll be releasing full C# source code and Unity project files to the public. What's the story behind the decision?
Well, we think that a good modding community really helps a game. There are a few things we are going to hold back. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be possible to compile an entire Road Redemption game, so we're not going to include all the missions, all the environments. But if you want to make your own mini little Road Redemption game, if you want to take it in a completely new direction, you can. We're also not going to release code that would enable someone to cheat in the multiplayer game. And that's pretty obvious, but a lot of our code that we've worked really hard on in terms of the AI, motorcycle physics, all of that, we're going to release to the public because, well, we promised it on the Kickstarter, and we think it'll just make for awesome Road Redemption experiences.
All right. Now that the game is available for purchase, what's the general feedback you guys are getting?
Everybody loves it.
Well,
everyone who plays it loves it.
Mm. What are the things though that people complain about the most?
People complain about stupid things.
Yeah,
people complain that when you are knocked off your motorcycle, you can't stand up and run back to it.
Oh god.
People complain about that because that was in the original Road Rash.
Yeah.
But those people don't remember how boring that was. There's nothing fun or challenging about watching your guy go like this and picking up his bike and getting back on it. It's just like 10 seconds of nothingness. And people keep saying they want that, and they are idiots.
Well, I guess listening to your public in whole is not actually something you want to do. You have a general idea where the game is, and yeah, sometimes it's just better to follow your heart rather than the heart of other people.
We listen to all of our feedback, and we have gotten some really good ideas from them.
Like two tornadoes
it's just
with
the
cars?
majority.
Like a Sharknado
That,
of cars?
That was actually my brother's idea when he was on drugs.
Alright. Which is all
So
the time, I
was
reckon.
not- Probably. He comes up with the stuff like raining cars, which was awesome.
It actually is. I found it so stupid, but it was so fun. Like, the silliest things actually work here, and they work ever so brilliantly.
Absolutely. If an idea is fun, we will put it in the game, even if it doesn't make sense.
Fair enough. Do you have an idea already what's next? Maybe like a reboot of Wacky Wheels or something?
Nobody wants that.
I would find that the people who want to run to the bike, they would probably want that as well.
No, we will do whatever we think will have a good chance of being a commercial success and a fun game. I don't know about Wacky Wheels. Personally, I would like to do a 3D Metroid.
Okay.
But take the concepts of Metroid, but put in survival horror. Not survival horror. Survival games like Rust or even like Minecraft. That port doesn't work, Chase. I think it would be great to combine those two ideas. I think that Nintendo has Metroid Prime was okay. Metroid Other M was a pile of garbage, and I think that I would love to be able to do something like that. I'd also like to do a roguelike first-person shooter, kind of like the Raid Redemption movie, where you go into a building, you fight 40 floors, and it's different every time. My brother doesn't want to make that, so we probably won't.
So it's basically run by what your brother says.
Well, you know, we both have to agree.
Yeah,
he wants to make a bunch of turn-based strategy games, and I don't have the attention span. I'm too dumb to play those kind of games, so we're not going to make that either.
No, truth be told, nowadays, the older I get, I just want my games to be faster. You would imagine that now you want like complicated shit with like think about all those characters. No, I just want to fucking play, and that's it.
Right? Right?
And that's why Road Redemption is so awesome in that aspect.
Right. Far Cry 3, you have to watch like 20 minutes of cinema before you can play the goddamn game. And every game is like that from the AAA studios. I'm not going to play Watch Dogs because I know I'm going to have to sit through a bunch of bullshit before the game starts.
Oh no, actually, Watch Dogs is heavily criticized by the fact they don't explain shit. You have to find out everything by default.
Oh, really?
So
maybe I'll like it.
Yeah, many people complain about it. I actually loved it about the game, so I would recommend it to you, actually. Because it's action-paced. So, okay, today with me was Ian Fisch from Darkseas Games, and look forward to their game Road Redemption. It's absolutely fucking worth it. Thanks again, Ian, and yeah, have a nice development.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.